That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Monkey.
And Monkey, I'm picturing a fantastical musical sequence. All right, it's gonna go on for like 15 minutes. Gene Kelly's gonna run into the backdrop of a Broadway street, and he's gonna arrive there, and he's gonna be all bright eyed, man. And he's gonna be like, "Oh, hello, I want to dance," and blah 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 blah. And then we're gonna go through this big thing where we're gonna see Gene Kelly's evolution and rise as an actor and a performer on Broadway. But he's only going to be after one girl, and that one girl is going to take him on a journey. She's going to dangle him around, and then she's going to leave him. And I'm just really interpreting this very badly because I literally just saw Singing in the Rain for the first time. Monkey, what is your reaction to all this?
Well, I can't quite picture it.
I feel like in this situation, we literally do need to see it in the pictures. All right. Well, that was very long-winded. How you doing, Monkey?
I'm doing all right. It's interesting day, considering
what's
to come. The impending.
Can't say I'm a little bit jealous.
My apologies and condolences and sympathies.
It's fine. Ironically enough, the next big trip I'm taking is going to involve you for like over half of it, probably.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. So
and Monkey, you and I have a certain event coming up in next spring as well.
Oh, yes, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
So, Monkey, this is the first solo trip that you're taking, right?
Yeah, the first time I've traveled solo.
Man, so that's a big deal in its own regard. The first time I traveled solo was kind of like dipping my toe into the solo waters, if you will, because of course I went and stayed at your place a couple times, but I wouldn't exactly call that solo travel because I was with you and family the whole time. And but I would say my first technical
solo trip, getting there and back was solo.
That's true. I would say my first technical solo trip was that time I went up to see Evan.
Oh, you mean that time? Yeah.
Yeah, when Evan was in the area with his mom, because that was just like 3 days, and I just
right because he didn't stay with us.
By myself across the street at a hotel for the whole time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my big solo trip was Disney World back about 6 months ago at this point. Man, it's hard to believe it's been that long already.
I thought it was more like 4 months or maybe 5.
I mean, starting in May, it'll be about 6 months. Because keep in mind, I literally went on that trip on December 1st. So.
Okay.
So December would be like a full month counting that. Anyway, so Monkey, I'm a seasoned traveler.
And speaking of that trip, we're kind of taking some little inspiration from that time, how you dealt with that on this channel.
Indeed. Because what we did was I went to Dragon and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make the stress of solo travel into a literal game show. I want to give you the chance to literally judge my travel failures and successes. So what Dragon came up with was a 30-point system, which I'm not entirely going to. I'm going to take inspiration from. It's not just going to be like Yeah, it's going to be like more adapted for a Broadway trip as opposed to a Disney World trip.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, Monkey, I believe the 5 categories are. Do you have them in front of you by any chance?
I do not. I could probably find them in a sec. Yeah, the ones you mentioned to me were travel, flexibility, lodging and dining, show roster, and expectation management.
All right. So travel is going to be pretty easy. That's going to be the well, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be one of the more difficult parts of the trip, but that's going to be, of course, the airplane, the flight, getting to the airport, getting to the hotel, getting to the shows and everything. Just basically.
So I assume that includes, like, say, any subway travel as well.
Yes, yes, yes. And like basically, this is the part of the podcast that Bob Gurr is going to peek up at. Like, oh, is someone talking about something that involves wheels? Like, this is Bob Gurr's expertise, monkey.
I'm just picturing him going to, like, say, I don't know, Hamilton or something, and seeing the double turntables.
Oh God. If this show was about 1950s classic car culture, I'd really get a kick out of it.
I don't know, maybe he should see Hands on a Hard Body somehow.
Oh God. Oh, Bob Gurr. I love Bob Gurr so much. Never die, Bob Gurr, please. Never die. Anyways, that was morbid.
Love never dies.
All right.
Another show with a turntable.
Monkey, what was the second category?
Second was flexibility.
Flexibility. Okay, now this is kind of more on the practical side of things. This is kind of more in terms of like, if stuff goes wrong, if the travel arrangements don't go according to plans, how do you handle it, Monkey? How do you handle it? How do you brace for it? This is going to be where if you want these 5 points, keep in mind this is all going to be out of 5 points. Or did I say out of 10 or out of 5 on my...
You said 10.
Okay, well, it's going to be out of 10 points, Monkey. That makes it even more significant.
Even easier to fail. Wait, which makes it easier to fail? Percentages.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, actually, yeah, this makes it easier to succeed.
So if you want those 10 points, Monkey, you're going to really have to adapt and thrive in this familiar but treacherous environment that you call Broadway.
Thank you, 10.
All right. Is that understood?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next category?
Lodging and dining.
Lodging and dining. So this is pretty self-explanatory. You don't need to go into the specifics of where you're staying or anything, but basically, how good was the hotel? How centralized was it? How good was the location? All that stuff. And of course, the dining, how good were your meals? I know you're not quite the foodie that I am, but you told me you have a few specific spots planned out.
Yeah. At least one of which is a franchise I could get in a mall here, but yada yada. Whatever. Right. It's still delicious and it's there.
Is it an In-N-Out? Did they port In-N-Out to New York finally?
No.
That's always going to be a California thing. All right, and then
they do have Five Guys.
The next one is show roster, right?
Correct.
So this is pretty self-explanatory. It's just like overall, what is the strength? Now, there's going to be a difference between show roster and expectation management, but they go kind of hand in hand together. So show roster is going to be sort of like, like if every show that you see is just like, oh my God, like every show is just like the best show that I've ever seen, like literally like ranking my favorite shows is ranking every show from this trip. You know what I mean? That would be like a 10 on the scale. And then, of course, a 1 on the scale would be like, holy shit, like each and every show down the line was just the worst, man. Like there were production problems up the wazoo. I've never seen such professional productions before. I don't know what went wrong. That would be like a 1.
Okay.
So, and then of course, expectation management, Monkey. This might be the most important part of it. Is
keeping hype in check.
This is the part where pre-gaming comes into play the most. This is the part that you have the most active stake in this podcast, which is, of course, simply what are the expectations of each show compared to the reality of how the show turns out.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, my friend, you want to get into the thick of things, go down the days?
All right. So we got tomorrow, day 0. I'm getting a haircut at in the morning. I figure I'll grab some Del Taco for lunch or something, get that in one more time before I leave this coast. There's a couple DVDs I plan to watch of shows I've done that were it's like these two shows in particular that happened to be right before New York trips. Like,
Ah, that's nice.
yeah, so get some of that in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's funny. I actually just wrapped up a show just now,
Right.
last night, fitting. But yeah, so gotta get to the airport and through the thing, and then wait for the flight to the. I may get dinner there. We'll see what happens. I'm sure at the very least I'll get like whatever snacks and such.
Mm-hmm.
And then flying. I may
Layover or direct flight?
huh?
Layover or direct flight?
Direct.
Okay.
Direct red eye.
All right.
So yeah, looks like the movies available will include, say, Mary Poppins Returns and Spider-Verse. So I figure between the two, I'd be more likely to watch Mary
Literally
Poppins
2 movies
Returns.
that I saw in theaters 4 times last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm halfway there. I saw them twice last. But yeah, I feel between the two, I'd be more likely to watch Mary Poppins Returns.
I feel like Mary Poppins Returns would be the better plane movie.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Spider-Man kind of requires more like mental investment.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Mary Poppins Returns, you can kind of just turn your brain off and enjoy the music and the spectacle.
Yeah. Or on the other hand, I've got a tablet. I'll have a tablet with me, so maybe I'll watch Frozen. Like I'll probably watch that movie sometime soon anyway, for reasons we may get into. But yeah, maybe I'll watch that on the flight out.
Okay.
We'll see what happens, and then hopefully I can get some sleep.
Yeah, right. That's the goal.
But yeah, so fly over into day one. I should be arriving early in the morning, like not as early as last time, like not arriving at midnight, but still on the early side, like. And yeah, so like my room most likely would not be ready yet. I figure I'll probably try and get breakfast at Westway Diner, which I've mentioned here before, so. And then that morning, but yeah, so after that, I could walk or subway. I'll probably subway over to Empire State Building. I'd like to check that out again. Like, I went there my first time. Haven't been back since, but I'd like to get back there this time. See how it is, what the view is like, how it correlates to. Well, one show in particular was what I had in mind, but then come to think of it, it correlates to 2 shows, and I wasn't thinking of the obvious one before.
So you weren't thinking of Kong?
No, I was thinking of Q.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Anyway,
yeah, I would say King Kong is probably more synonymous with the Empire State Building.
Yeah,
than
like
Q
I remember
is.
they had King Kong merchandise there when I went before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of Kong stuff. But anyway, so I'm guessing I should make it into the room, in the afternoon, and then this is something so that afternoon, I will be able to attend the one and only Easter Bonnet. So this isn't exactly a show. It's more like a special event. So what it is that, to set it up, is that there's a couple of points during the year where shows on Broadway and off Broadway and on tour collect donations for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. So like they'll have cast members in the lobby as you leave with buckets, and you can get special merchandise for certain price amounts. Like this much you get a signed poster or whatever. Yeah, the crow agrees. So, yeah, I heard a crow from your head.
Yes, my window's open.
Mm-hmm. Hi, crow. Anyway, so for and I think both times they culminate at a show in New York's on Broadway. So in the spring is the Easter Bonnet competition, where a bunch of shows will come together and put on little skits and songs and dances, and at the end of each thing, of each performance, of each show's little bit, they have some elaborate bonnet that they display at the end. So, and was it? This is happening in the Minskoff Theater, which I've already been in. So, but it's a way to get back in there without having to shell out to see. I mean, without having to put time into seeing Lion King again. So it's in that theater.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it's something I've certainly known about for some time, and I realized I could actually pull it off this time. So pull it off, I shall. And it should.
I love that feeling when planning trips, and you're just like, oh, this has been a goal for a while, and it's like, yeah, it lines up.
Yeah.
Monkey, of course, the mountain goat has been in my wheelhouse for a long time, and now it's like, and I looked up and I was like, mid-September. That's right around the time that Ezra was planning on flying down. Yes, this could work.
But yeah, right. So and it's neat. There should also be like some pretty neat names at this thing. Yeah, they finally released a list of who should be there a couple days ago, and it's like there were some names I was hoping would be there that it doesn't look like will be, but there was I'll save the exact names for when I talk about it later once I'm back, but I will tease this. We got Cranston.
Cranston, really?
Yes.
As in the Bryan Cranston?
No, as in Ethel Cranston. Yes, Brian.
Oh my god. Oh, poor Dragon's gonna be so jealous. Oh,
no,
dear.
I can't even bring up Bryan Cranston without Monkey bringing Broadway into it.
I feel
Sorry,
like
Dragon.
Somewhere in the universe, Dragon's spidey senses just went off, and he's like, "Gads, there's something not right. There's an injustice afoot."
Yeah, I mean, because Cranston is on Broadway right now, so he's available. He's around.
All right.
Yeah. I feel like there was something. But yeah, was it? So for all I know, they might release videos of some of the sketches or whatever before I get back. So that, and I think that, it looks like the last couple of years they live streamed the ending of the show. So like where they announced the winners of like best bonnet, who raised the most money, who had the best presentation. Here's how much we raised this collection period. So I think that they live streamed that on Facebook. So you may be able to watch along with me.
I also may be working.
Okay, other people who are listening to this can watch along with me. Okay, so then that night will be the first official show of the trip, the prom.
The prom, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, and of course I'll save, whatever. Yeah, that's something nice about this podcast. We don't have to waste time with my preconceptions.
Exactly. You just kind of like basically what I want to hear for each of these shows are like preconceptions and expectations.
Yeah. So, more time to talk about the theaters themselves on the main podcast. Yeah. So we have the prom. This is, one that's certainly kind of been on the radar for a little while. Like a lot of it dealing with, some of the actors in the show. Like we got some neat names in there, like Brooks Ashmanskas, Beth Level, Christopher Sieber. So, I mean, Christopher Sieber I've seen already, but he's still Christopher Sieber. It's funny. I remember the marquee was already up for it on my last time because it opened in the fall. So this is like one of the things that made me want to go back. Like, no joke. I was already thinking about this trip like the night before we left the last trip. So, like, the prom was it would be a way to see the prom, assuming that it wouldn't close before I could get there. Yeah, so the prom, I'm expecting, at least some good performances, a good message, some nice laughs. So, yeah, we'll see how that is. It should be neat to catch.
All right.
So, Flash on to day 2. And that afternoon, we'll have King Kong.
Oh boy. Oh boy. This is a big one.
Yeah, this is
Oh
kind of
man.
this is the other one that had me wanting to come back.
I am very, very interested in what your thoughts are going to be on this thing, man.
Yeah. I mean, now of course, with any of the
This
shows,
is like literally the enigmatic 2,000-pound gorilla in the room.
now of course, with any of these shows or whatever, like if I say anything that's like not crazy about it, I don't mean any disrespect to the actors or the crew, of course. You know, they're
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
yeah, of course they're doing, you know, they're putting in hard work to do what I wish I could do. Gotta respect that.
Those performers and creatures in the Creature of the Black Lagoon musical worked very hard, Monkey.
That show's a guilty pleasure of mine. It's funny, I was just thinking about that show. But anyway, yeah, King Kong. This is, in some ways, this is kind of like, you could say, the Spider-Man of this trip, and that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A lot of why I'm seeing it is like just out of the curiosity, and that this may be the only chance to catch it.
The pure spectacle. How the hell are they going to pull this off on stage?
Well, yeah, the Kong puppet, of course. And maybe there'll be some, you know, enjoyably odd moments.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. There's a good chance I'll enjoy it for what it is.
Like, are the songwriters actually like people that you have familiarity with at all?
Not exactly, and this is also like the musical's third creative team.
Oh, that's never a great sign.
Yeah. I know what I know is that it's the book writer also wrote Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Ooh, interesting. I'm not sure if that should be a good sign or not.
I think the guy who did the score has done like other movies and such, La La Land included. I'm sure there's other ones in there too. So.
I don't want to open the can of worms when it comes to La La Land, but
and then it's funny, the lyricist also did the score for another show I'm seeing on the trip, which we'll get to. But yeah, King Kong. It should be
mostly just expecting like some schlocky fun spectacle out of this, right? You're not expecting the next great comet out of this.
No. No, that's a later show.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so in any case, but yeah, it seems like Kong has made it this far, so I should be able to catch it. Gorilla. Anyway.
All right.
So then maybe that day I think maybe that day between shows is when I'll try and go to this One Spot Juniors. It's kind of deli-ish restaurant place I like, and it's in a good spot. Yeah, I definitely plan to make it there at some point. I may meet up. I also may try and meet up with a friend on this day, so I got it. And then that evening is Tootsie, a musical.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
No, I haven't been following this thing. Has it been reviews, yay or nay?
Well, you know, I will say this. What was it? Oh yeah. So I won't deny, when this was kind of announced or whatever, like when this was in the pipeline, I did write it off as like, oh, it's another movie being put on stage, and yeah, it's that movie Family Guy spoofed once. So, but then, like, I don't know, like right before the out-of-town tryout started, I saw some article with the composer that, you know, definitely made it seem interesting. Like, he said that they were, you know, actually not just putting the movie directly on stage, they were adapting it and making changes and whatnot. And he also said it's pretty funny. By the way, same composer as the band's visit. Yeah, and then the out-of-town tryout, the out-of-town production was happening, and yeah, it was getting great buzz. So I haven't really seen what people are saying about this one that's in New York right now, but yeah, I mean, it seemed to be getting great buzz before, so yeah, I got interested in that. So I'm expecting like a good cast and some good laughs. Pretty cool. This is one of two shows that I'll be seeing like literally the night after they open. So yeah, so I mean, nothing against previews, of course. I've
Oh,
been to a
nice.
few, but I feel kind of like I'd rather see the Frozen product. Ah, Frozen. Prince Hans is in this, right? Yeah. Anyway, so that should be that. Next day. This day is when I'll try to use my morning or early afternoon to head downtown a little. I'll probably try and get a glance at the Flatiron Building, but the main reason I'm heading down there, Modern Pinball NYC.
Oh man,
It's
ooh, that sounds awesome.
yeah, it's like some place in Manhattan that just has a bunch of pinball machines to play.
Dude, that's
Like,
right up your alley.
yeah, like I'd heard of it like maybe a year or so ago, but
How
wasn't
does it work?
able
Is there like an
to
entrance
get
fee and
there.
then you get to play like unlimited games or what?
I believe that is how they are doing it.
Oh, nice, nice. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, so do some playing there, but then make it back in time to see the Phantom of the Opera. You know, yeah,
Now, of course,
the one
now
that's
of course,
turned out to be a
big,
mainstay.
yeah, I was gonna say this is a big mainstay of your trips. So
Yeah, it
this will
turns
go
out
by quick.
the show means that much to me apparently. It's
Like
crazy, wasn't it? Like I think it's well,
obviously you're
yeah, the
kind of
other one.
expecting.
Well, expecting what?
Sorry. Obviously, you're just kind of expecting just sort of the same general magic that you always get from this.
Yeah, relatively, or I hope it doesn't feel routine or anything, but
Right, right. That's
or
true.
I'm hoping it'll be nice to experience this story again, to have the Phantom experience again. And it looks like there's perhaps a couple new cast members in there among the principals, so yeah, freshen it up a little. New blood. Yay, Phantom. I don't know about between shows. Maybe I'll snag McDonald's somewhere or something. And then that night, Hades Town.
Oh boy. All right.
Yeah, this is the one where I
Oh
want to
man.
keep my hype in check. I really want to keep the
Yeah.
hype in check.
I mean, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And the thing is, it's like what I would advise you for with this show is like, I would just not go in with any expectation about the Great Comet
Of
per
course not.
se.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But I would have high expectations just based on I think the source material is fantastic. I actually kind of got deeply into it for a while there. I think the concept album the show is based on is wonderful. And B, just like the level of talent involved here is just kind of staggering. And I
yeah,
really do think that this is going to be something
yeah,
special. And again, it's
yeah.
like I'm not
Like
even jealous.
I know it's not going to be the same kind of staging as Comet, of course, but it's got
Well,
the
that's what I'm
director.
saying. Yeah.
So I'm expecting something neat, kind of, yeah, something pretty good. Uh, I've got to keep that hype in check, of course. Yeah, it's crazy, was it? Like there was some review of it that came out. I didn't check the review, but I just saw this one line from it that was like, after Hamilton, Hades Town is the best musical on Broadway, period.
I can believe that. I really
Yeah.
can. If the
Yeah,
concept album is any indication for me.
yeah, it's kind of crazy to see, like, it's been kind of crazy, like, as previews were starting up, people were saying, like, yeah, I bet it'll, like, I was seeing people say, like, oh, I bet it'll be real hard to get a ticket, like, after it opens and whatnot. And I actually ended up getting mine right away, like, during a performance of Christmas Carol. So,
Nice.
yeah, so I guess I lucked out price-wise. So I think that should sum it up for Hades Town. I'll just throw it out there. I hope I'm able to. I hope Patrick Page stage doors. Just there's something I'd like here. Something he wrote I'd like to thank him for.
Yeah, of course, Patrick Page is probably the most prominent cast member in this thing.
Maybe. It's funny. 3 of the principals are people I've seen before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, was it Amber Gray and Reeve Carney and Patrick Page?
Oh, I forgot all about Reeve Carney.
Yeah, so he's with Patrick Page again.
Right.
And I didn't even see Patrick Page in Spider-Man. Speaking of Spider-Man, so yeah, the next day that morning I plan to meet up with our dear aforementioned pal Adventure Blue Dude, and we are going to see.
Smooth transition.
Huh?
I said smooth transition.
Yeah. And yeah, we're gonna catch Endgame.
So this is the Friday after. So you're not seeing a Thursday night screening. You're seeing a Friday day screening.
Yeah.
Well, Hadestown definitely takes priority over Endgame. So
yeah, before I wasn't entirely certain about seeing Endgame on the trip. You know, I can see a movie any day.
Sure.
But there was an opening here. You know, this is the only one show day of the trip. And
now you do have your tickets secured in advance, right?
Of course.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so, you know, this time frame was open and it's less time to worry about spoilers.
Exactly. That's kind of
like, you know, sitting at some other show, like waiting for it to start, and someone's like, "Wow, that was crazy!" When blah blah blah.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, so hopefully, you know, it's not as devastating as Infinity War.
Hadestown, because most of the screenings probably won't have gotten out by the time Hadestown is getting in.
Yeah, like you and Garrett, I can easily avoid your whatever.
Yeah, obviously we'll have a whole like separate group discussion going on that does involve you. Yeah,
and the time zones.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I won't have to wait that long. What the hell did I just do there?
All right.
Okay, moving on to something less weird. Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Yeah, the other show that I'll be seeing the night after it opens. Yeah, I remember. You know, there were a lot of points where, you know, the sort of main attraction of the trip just kept changing, like Kong or Prom, or all right, Hadestown is happening and it's a theater I haven't been in. All right, Beetlejuice is happening at a theater I haven't been in with that awesome concept art for the marquee. And then, oh crap, that one thing is closing that we'll get to later. Anyway, so Beetlejuice, you know, it's kind of interesting. So I think they changed some stuff at least, but you know, it's kind of the kind of evil brilliance of it is how even if it's pretty much the movie, it's still an enticing one to go to. It's like how, you know, like the spectacle of it, or what's
again,
how it'll
it's
be.
kind of in that same vein of like Kong or Spider-Man, you know what I mean?
Or like, say, what's something where it's like, you know, a movie being put on stage and it's like, wow, that would be cool to see that live. Like, I don't know, maybe some of the Disney shows.
Prince of Egypt.
I was thinking about ones that have actually happened. Or made it to the Great White Way.
Right, anyway, I'm just saying, I just revisited Prince of Egypt last night, and my God, that thing needs a show.
Yeah. There might be some kind of show of it that was done somewhere. But yeah, Beetlejuice, I think
like professional Broadway production.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, Beetlejuice, I think the sandworm is in it. So it's like whatever description on the website mentions like the biggest sandworm Broadway's ever seen, and one of the actors was like, "Oh my God, they actually pulled off the sandworm."
Nice.
So yeah, we'll see what happens there. You know, I'm expecting at the very least some, you know, neat and cool sets, some good performances, maybe some enjoyable tunes. It's interesting. Like, I think the I think they've been toning it down, like between the out-of-town tryout and New York, like making it less vulgar. So we'll see what they have this time. Like, I remember, what is it? Before it used to say the age recommendation was 12 and up, but now it's like 10 and up. Interesting. Like, I think the other like I think before, I'm not sure precisely, but I think there was something with like someone getting humped by a dead pig.
Oh dear. Oh boy. Oh.
One crazy weird. It's a shit. If Gary was in a theater I hadn't been in, I would so be seeing that, and that's got to be a weird one. Yay, Beetlejuice. Let's see. Saturday, I may try and meet up with someone. I'm thinking maybe Saturday morning is when I'll try to check out this thing called Gulliver's Gate. It's like some exhibit thing of like miniatures of places around the world.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know it existed until like a few months ago. But it's right in the theater district, and it
Nice.
certainly seems intriguing. So, let's see, and then that day will be play day, straight play day. Because let's see, in the afternoon we've got Burn This. I won't lie, I'm a bit concerned with this one. Like just what I've heard of the premise, I'm not sure if it is my kind of thing, but I don't know, something about it seems kind of intriguing. It's got Adam Driver, so
Adam Driver. Oh man.
yeah. Funnily enough, this ain't his first time on Broadway. Yeah, it's Adam Driver and Kerry Russell.
Oh wow. That's a stacked cast right there.
Yeah, yeah, and Brandon Uranowitz, nice. But yeah, I'm hoping I'll aside from performances, I'm hoping I'll still be drawn in. We'll see. And then that evening, Hillary and Clinton.
Oh boy.
I won't deny a lot of a notable factor in why I'm seeing this is the theater.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the theater where Avenue Q was.
Ah,
Yeah. So like if King Lear was still here, there's certainly a possibility I'd be seeing that, but no. Yeah, one day it was like Hillary and Clinton will be taking the Golden. And King Lear was gonna take the Golden, but it's taking the court now. I won't lie, just kind of from what I hear about those two shows, it sounds like Hillary may be more up my alley, like what it's about.
it's political satire, I assume.
Something like that. I believe what it is. It's like in some alternate universe.
Huh.
So it's not doing. So like the actors don't do imitations of the actual people. So it's like an alternate universe version, but someone else named Hillary Clinton, who's also running for president in 2008.
Weird.
Yeah, was it? This one has Laurie Metcalf and John Lithgow in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
So it's very possible that this trip I'll get to see both Broadway Farquaad and movie Farquaad in the same trip. But yeah, so
how close are you going to be to Lithgow?
What?
How close are you going to be to Lithgow?
We'll see. Yeah, so yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic for this one. See, I've heard that the cast of Burn This doesn't stage door after matinee performances, so depending on how I'm feeling, I may try to go back there after Hillary to try for seeing them. So I think, the timing would work out.
All right. Oh my God.
Huh?
My for some reason my hangout's like being a little uncooperative right now. Fuck. I don't know what's wrong. My hangouts are. Can you hear me right now? Okay. Just keep going.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So the next day is a show that certainly caught my attention and was, another one of like, oh, I'd like to see that. It is a revival of Kiss Me Kate. I've actually not seen that show before, so should be cool to, get a look at it. I'm hoping for an enjoyable one. Maybe not something incredible, but still a nice time with some neat cast in there. Like got friggin' Kelly O'Hara, who's gonna be at Easter Bonnet anyway, but nevertheless. Will Chase, who I've seen before in Something Rotten, but I really liked him in that one. We've got Corbin Blue in this one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it should be nice. It should be a fun one, I would hope. And then that evening, the other mainstay, Avenue Q. So here's a yeah. I say this jokingly, of course, but it's kind of like you jinxed it on our last Broadway podcast when you were like you thought the show was closing.
I know, right?
Yeah, so
man.
yeah, the show announced a closing. So which is why I'm going this week instead of the next.
Yeah, so this will be your very last time getting to see Avenue Q until a revival or something.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the very last time I'll see this, edition of the show live.
Uh-huh.
Dang.
Also,
And then the crazy part is, and then this is sort of like, what?
Sorry, I just want to point out that this day is also going to be the day that I'm seeing Jesus Christ Superstar. And
nice.
I'm very excited about that.
And then, yeah, what is it? Now, maybe this would be a thing for flexibility or something, but yeah, this was going to be the closing performance, and then, guess what? We're extending 4 weeks. Yay!
Oh, God.
Like, well, okay. I mean, I'm glad. I'm still going to see the show, of course, but okay, that's there's less of a coolness there.
Right.
But oh well, it's Avenue Q. Of course, we'll see how I take it during the show. Like, if I'm just kind of like, that's it, or if I'm crying.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. Now, what I guess a concern with this is that I'm hoping it just doesn't feel routine again. Like, I know the script of this one. I just know it. So, this is going to be like the 8th time I've seen this show, even.
I feel like at this point, if it's not routine by now, and if it's the last time you're seeing the production, I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Fair enough. Now, I may try some sort of Brechtian viewing approach that I kind of stumbled into when I saw Nightmare Before Christmas at El Capitan last October, because, that's also something that I've seen a bunch and pretty much know by heart. So, like, partway through the movie, like, I was thinking, you know what, I'm just going to start watching this as, like, to just kind of watch this as a study on obsession, something. So maybe I'll, like, go into Q trying to watch and just try and watch it as, say, a study on optimism or whatever.
Oh.
And yeah, that'll be that. And the next day I fly back out.
All right. Well, Monkey, we've sounds like a pretty grand trip.
Yeah, this is pretty ambitious.
Yeah, pretty ambitious. Lots of
I'm kind of just taking a big plunge this time. Like, all right, I'm gonna go for it.
Well, I admire you, man. I admire you for sure.
Thanks.
It definitely makes me want to plan my next solo trip because, as much as I'm looking forward to our Magic Mountain road trip coming up in September, and of course, that trip is going to be weird because it's going to be like I have the mountain goats on the day I fly in, and then we have the Magic Mountain road trip, and then I have Galaxy's Edge, and then I'm going to round it out with Knott's. That trip's going to feel like 3 trips in one.
And this is after after I discovered that Lion King isn't going to be there this September.
Right. Who knows? We might still work a show in at some point, like maybe perhaps on our way back from Magic Mountain, if depending on what's playing.
Or after that day. But yeah. And hopefully we can catch Lion King when it does get here.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. Okay, Monkey, well, you have a safe travel, my friend, and I will see you later.
Later. Okay, goodbye. by people. Egg shaker. Ah! What the fuck was that?
Way down Hades Town, way down under the ground.